Checka Pro Joe here on the Checka Pro radio show with one of my favorite Checka Pro member providers. It's Adam Greer from Easy Lift Garage Doors and more. Hello, Adam.
How you doing? It's always good to be with you. I'm enjoying it.
I am living the dream. Thank you so much. You're our garage door expert today here on the program. Question has come in, and actually this is a pretty interesting question because when I was a kid, this was not an issue. And that question is why are the garage door sensors so important? Those little electric eyes that when you cross it, it does something to the brain of the garage door opener. Why are they so important?
It's a great question. Really good question. They became mandated in the end of 93. So really starting in 94, any opener installed from that point forward hasn't. And they are to save lives, honestly, whether it be a pet life or an infant life, a child life. But it also stops damage. So what that's doing is there's a safety beam, little safety sensors are shooting across. And if anything is in the way, the door doesn't crush it. And some people try all kinds of ways to cheat the system, but it's actually dangerous. So they're supposed to be 6 inches off the floor. That's the minimum. And people will pull up 2 feet, 3 feet. So they all kinds of different reasons. They say their bumper trips them, all kinds of reasons to move around. But it's supposed to be 6 inches off the floor. That way, any little animal, cat, kid comes, shooting through that beam, it doesn't get them. So that's the primary reason for them. And when people do things like put them right next to each other, tape them up on the ceiling or right up, there's all kinds of things you see. And we aren't supposed to service that. If we come to that situation and see them out of code, we are supposed to put them in code or not service the door, the opener. So it's a big deal. And people try them and they can't achieve it. Beg us to not install them. One, if you don't install them, the opener won't even work. It has to happen. So you can't just leave them off. And I know there's situations, maybe like in a warehouse where the doors on the forklifts are driving and they hate the fact that they're there. There's nothing you can do. It's mandated. So it's critical. And it's when you need them, you'll be glad you have them. They're maybe a pain in the butt until then. But that day that it does its job, you'll be glad you have them.
Now, I've got a question about this subject. You may not know the answer, but I'm curious. Is this a federal or a state or just the manufacturers? Like who says this must be mandated? This must be done.
What is the UL? What's the agency? What is it? I can't think what it stands for right now. That's who come up with this. So yeah, it's not like they want to arrest us. But what happens is, for example, say someone gets hurt, neighbor's kid comes shooting through, they get damaged, maybe they're broken off, whatever, and the insurance, the family decides they didn't sue. And if there's no safety sensors, your insurance will not cover. So there's where it becomes an issue. So is it really a law where they're going to come knock on your door or knock on my door because I didn't do it? No. But when you need it to be covered and it's not there, it's going to void your insurance. So there's definitely reasons to have it, and it's economical, for sure, but don't mess around with safety. It's, and I know we take off our shields on our saws, and we're always trying to avoid that stuff for convenience, but this one's a pretty big deal.
Don't rip the label off the mattress. That apparently is a federal law. This is a little more different, I would say. Now, Adam, as you know, because you are my garage door expert at my home, the only problem I really have is a certain time of the year, the sun will hit my sensors, one in particular. And what it does is it'll send the door back up again when I try to close it in the evening. What's happening there?
So, as the earth changes and the sun changes position, it's just the sun is blocking the light, the beam. Now, manufacturers will argue that often and say that it's impossible. We see it regularly. Yours is an example. We've dealt with yours before. And so sometimes the amount of just switching it, there's a sending unit and there's a receiving unit. And so sometimes simply switching them changes that, a little shift on position, or we can unmount them from the track and pull them back inside, maybe mount them to the wall. So some things you can do if it's a real pain in the butt where it's just can't be solved. We need to change them. So I'll simply change the position, but it usually is a week, somewhere in that range. And then the sun's changed again too. And it doesn't happen. But that's one of the things I always ask people. Is it at the same time every day? Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. It's like 9 a.m. when I'm trying to go to school. Well, that's going to be your son. So people have tried to make sun blockage things you can add on afterwards. And I think we're starting to see some good aftermarket products. The 3D printing has been amazing for all kinds of things. So people are taking advantage of it. So I've seen people put toilet paper rolls, they'll cut a little notch and then just stick it over when it works. All you got to do is give that lens a little protection and sun can't hit it. That is an issue.
Yeah. In short, everybody, your garage door sensors are important. You need to have them there. And if maintained well, you shouldn't have any problem with it, especially for residential.
Yeah. And people say, I don't have kids, so it doesn't matter. Well, it matters. So there you go.
Yeah. Adam Greer, as always, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.